Welcome back to Straight Facts on Wednesday. I'm here with Mo. Hussam may be on his way, but me and Mo essentially got sick and tired of waiting for him, so we decided to go live. We're here now. Mo, how are you, mate?
I'm all right. Listen, you gotta like the video, people. You gotta do it early so you can enjoy the show. Hit that like button. Let's get to 1,000 likes live or 1,500 likes live. And when Hussam comes in, all you have to do is you can type Hussam, so you can get like triggered because he's always late.
Well, he is going to be today because we're talking about Mo Salah quitting Liverpool today. We're obviously going to take a big look at Chelsea with what they've got going on. Are they being ruthless or are they being careless with the treatment of Raheem Sterling and other senior players at their football club? We're going to take a look at Arsenal's done deals with Eddie Nketiah looking imminent, with Aaron Ramsdale looking like an imminent exit, Moreno coming in. What else do they need as we close in on the end of this window? We're talking Osimhen as well. Chelsea need to go and get that done. That and much more. Here he is. Oh, he's finally here. He's finally got out of bed, or whatever it was.
I just sent you a picture in the group chat. I was live with Tom Little on my channel, and on my laptop, for some reason, it just pushed back the clock 10 minutes. I've never seen a clock be that wrong for no reason whatsoever. So I thought I'm arriving at 6 o'clock.
Your clock,
my laptop clock
on your laptop reset itself during the stream.
I literally sent you a screenshot on the group chat. You can look at it right now. It said,
did your dog eat your homework as well? I mean, that's one of the worst excuses I've ever heard, Hussam.
Anyway, listen, Don Hussam has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys are liking, make sure you guys are subscribing to the Football Terrace. We're here, Habibis. And yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Big up for everyone who raided as well in the chat, the Hussam raid. We're here, Habibis. Let's go. So I just had to finish off bullying Tom Little. Now we're here.
No worries. I hope Tom Little was good. Him and his toenails. That's what he's got, the worst toenails I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, his feet are like a crow's foot. It's mad. I wanted to start with Liverpool, though, actually, today. And the story that has come out that Mo Salah plans to leave Liverpool at the end of his contract next year. At the moment, he does not want to renew. So according to the reports coming out of credible Liverpool sources, Mo Salah is in the process of quitting Liverpool. He will not sign a new deal and will leave next year. How do you feel about that as a Liverpool fan, Hussam, that your greatest ever Premier League player wants to quit your club?
Second greatest.
Second, first, top player. Wants to quit your club?
Listen, for me, I think Mo Salah is the best player in this team currently. He's been the best player in the Premier League over the last 6-7 years as well. Best forward as well in the Premier League over the last 6-7 years. Insane consistent levels. 300 GA over in 350 games is just insane consistency. He proves it season in, season out, year in, year out. And I think Mo's looking at his future, and he's probably assessing the situation currently, and has every right to do so. If Mo wants to leave, I'll clap him off. I have no problem with him leaving because this club has not given him any reason to stay. This club has not shown him any support. This club is not been serious about winning. Hiring Arne Slot, fair enough. Van Dijk, Trent, Mo, and Alisson. This is the last dance season where all four of them are together. But the truth of the matter is, a player like that wants to win trophies. Wants to be on the big stages, wants to be on the grandest stages of them all. And the truth of the matter is, we are not a club that's prepared to do that as things stand. I mean, in all top 5 European clubs, the only club that has not signed a single player is Liverpool Football Club. The likes of Lens and Marseille and Lyon and Stuttgart and all clubs all over Europe have signed players, and yet we haven't, given the fact that we are the football club that probably needs a lot of help, given the fact that we have a new manager, stuff like that. And even, I'm just going to be logical. I'm not going to just be angry or rant or whatever it is. They even told us for the first 2 months of the season that Slot is assessing the squad. He assessed it. He told you he needs a DM. And now, when the Zubimendi thing failed, you cannot tell me he's the only DM in world football that can improve us, because that is just absolute rubbish, to be honest with you. So Liverpool Football Club are not serious. We're not serious about winning trophies in the short term. And a player from Mo's caliber, with all due respect, he's 32 years old. He's still scoring goals. He's still getting assists. The last thing he needs now is to play another season in the Europa League, or to be or having Conor Bradley behind him and stuff like that. So I completely understand. However, if somehow, some way we decide to be serious in the next 10 days, which is probably not going to happen. If we decide to be serious in the next 10 days and sign players and develop the team and stuff like that, fair enough. But as things stand, people need to understand this is the last year that Liverpool Football Club will actually be a respectable football club to watch, enjoy, and feared by certain opponents. From next season, if these 4 world-class players leave, we are going to be staring at mediocrity beyond you can even imagine. With this ownership group, with this incompetent sporting director, with the way that we are being run, it ain't ever going to change until Fenway Sports Group leaves Liverpool Football Club. Their reason is we don't want to sign players on lucrative deals beyond their 30s. We just watched Jamie Vardy, whose diet is Red Bull and cigarettes, score a goal in the English Premier League 37 years old. Karim Benzema won the Ballon d'Or 34 years old. Lewandowski had his best goal-scoring season 33 years old. This is modern football. Someone who takes care of his body himself like a Mo will always be able to deliver. I think, I'm not even exaggerating if I say, probably even, I'm not going to put words in their mouth, but Terry and Mo probably agree with me to an extent. He might not be as explosive and as amazing when he's 35, but he'll still probably get you 15 and 10, which is actually probably unbelievable season for 90% of the wingers in the world or in the Premier League. So for me, I look at the situation we're in. This club's not serious. We're not signing players. We're not developing the squad. And world-class players like Mo are not going to sit around for rebuilds and for signing young players and for not signing contracts. And he deserves to get paid as much as Kevin De Bruyne, if not more, given the fact that Kevin De Bruyne is surrounded by quality players around him. So listen, it's not about whinging. It's not about mourning. It's not about me being negative. It's the truth. People just need to acknowledge the truth to make your life easier. The only reason why people are not losing their minds on Liverpool is the fact that we have the 4 world-class players that we do. Because we have Mo, because we have Trent, because we have Virgil, because we have Alisson. I asked in my chat a question yesterday. I was like, let's say those 4 players magically disappeared tomorrow. Where would Liverpool finish next season? Most people said 7th, 8th, or 9th. That just shows you the current state of the squad. And Ipswich, by the way, is the biggest indicator. Because who won us that game? Trent and Mo. 2 world-class players. Deliver, done, goal, done. Finish, you win the game. That is why world-class players are essential and needed and necessary. So for me, I look at the current situation. I completely understand where Mo's coming from. If he goes to another club, I'll clap him off. This club is not serious. And his contract should have been sorted 6 months before now. Like, he shouldn't even have to wait. She give him the contract, sign it, seal it, and keep it stepping. Simple as.
Do you agree, Mo? We obviously saw on Saturday Salah's importance to Liverpool still. The fact that as things stand, he will not be signing a new deal. Trent's not signing a new deal. Van Dijk has spoke about leaving. Although this season might still be good for Liverpool, the future doesn't look particularly bright right now.
I'm going to give you a very plausible scenario. Me and Sam spoke with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, and I warned him and I told him blind faith is not something you warrant people because they succeeded before. This is what Liverpool did. These guys, they hired Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. All the fans are like, oh my God, we're back. We're building back again. They had 3 jobs. Finding a replacement for Jurgen Klopp in a short term. Their main target, Xabi Alonso. All the fans have copium. Every single Liverpool fan I met and I talked to, even the people that watch on Twitter, they say, we were never in for Xabi Alonso. We didn't want Xabi Alonso. That's a lie.
We were.
They wanted Xabi Alonso. And for whatever reason, he didn't want to go to Liverpool, right? But they found a replacement. So you have succeeded in your job number 1. Job number 2, get out of there, dude. Until this current moment, Joe Gomez is not part of the squad. He doesn't want to include him, and he hasn't sold yet. They sold Carvalho. All summer, they're talking about letting Luis Diaz go for the right price. He's still at the club. The starting left winger of Liverpool next game is Luis Diaz, okay? The 2 other jobs is you either get signings or renew your most important players before push comes to shove in December, and these players look around and say, hold on, we aren't actually serious. We are tempted by joining other clubs. So basically and I'm calling out some certain people. I don't know if this is Terry's show. David Ornstein went on NBC, right? And he praised Richard Hughes. He praised them, Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, massively. And he said they have a really tough job on their hands. These guys are very good. They wanted to do, and I'm looking at it. The most important thing is to give Arne Slot the tools to work. You really didn't get your main target. You got Arne Slot, give him the tools. Oh, we're only targeting one DM. If you don't get this DM, we're finished. Work with what you have. Basically, Liverpool at the current moment, Mohamed Salah, Trent, and Van Dijk. We don't know how this project is going. Comes December, Liverpool 15 points or 10 points behind Man Utd and Arsenal. They're going to say, these guys are not serious. We are tempted to join Real Madrid, Saudi Arabia, Barcelona, PSG. There is money on the table, and there are projects on the table. What is stopping them? Nothing.
And why do people keep saying Mo to Saudi Arabia as well, by the way? He could still play for a top 5 European club easily right now. Easily, with ease. Like, you're telling me Mo can't play for Bayern Munich? You're telling me Mo can't play for your
club?
There
is another thing. Mohamed Salah can go back to Italy. He liked it.
Yeah,
Mohamed Salah can go back to Italy.
I think if Liverpool put Salah on the market today, Man United and Liverpool wouldn't do business. I don't think Liverpool and City would do business, but I believe every other Premier League team would put their hat in. I think Arsenal would try. I 100%. Think Chelsea would definitely try because he's better than every single Chelsea attacker. Bayern would, Dortmund would. Real Madrid probably wouldn't now with who they've gone and got. Having said that, I did watch their game the other day. Everyone wants to stand on the fucking left-hand side, don't they? All of them. Bellingham, Vinicius. They've got to work on that. It was honestly, you know, like when you get the moths get attracted to a light. It was like that. Maybe Mo Salah would be good for Real Madrid right now, give them some bloody balance, but he would still get even into Barcelona, the majority of teams. Someone said Dortmund. What I mean is, Dortmund wouldn't be able to put it off, but I still look at right now. I still look at
saying who's interested. That's what he's saying.
Top teams, and I still think, although Leverkusen had a great year last year, I got a hot take on Leverkusen this season. But Dortmund have been for the last 15 years one of the top teams in Germany. So I'm just throwing their name out there. All the top teams in every single nation would be interested in Mo Salah. So, and I saw what Ornstein said as well. I've got a lot of respect for David Ornstein. He's obviously worked very hard to get to where he is in football, but I felt like he was towing the party line. I felt as though he was saying what Liverpool fans wanted to hear.
I didn't want to say that. But
personally, cool. it felt like he was towing the party line and Liverpool fans are the easiest supporters in the world, as a general rule, for their own club to gaslight. All they have to say is this is part of a master plan. It's too difficult. When they've said things in the past like, you know, we're a working class club. How dare we spend hundreds of millions of pounds on players? That's being said by a manager earning 10, 15 million pound a year. It's crazy to me. And they go, oh yeah, he's one of us. No, he isn't. He's a multi-millionaire that's just making an excuse as to why you haven't bought. At the end of the day, Slot doesn't have a hard job, and it's only being made hard by the way you're running it. Edwards doesn't have a hard job in reality if they did the right thing. Liverpool, one of the richest clubs in the world. Liverpool, one of the most attractive football teams in the world. One of the most historic, with a very good squad. And I think a very competent coach as well. They should be able to attract the vast amount of talent in the world, but they've got to be prepared to pay the going rate. It's
but
different
Terry,
when
the second part is the problem. Because here's the thing, you're going to get me pissed off. Here's the thing. The second part for me is the issue with your statement. Everything you said is true. Guys, and I see people in the chat, forget who the messenger is. Forget that Mo supports a club that only signs players on a free. Forget that Terry's arrival. Listen to the message, not the messenger, because you guys always respond to the messenger instead of the message. If someone's saying something truthful, it's the truth. Terry just broke it down 100% accurately and fairly. Liverpool can attract players 100% and will attract players. The only issue is Liverpool have a serious lack of execution. We spoke about this last week, and don't spend money. That is the biggest issue. In the last 3 years, Liverpool have spent the least money out of all the top 6 clubs, including Spurs, FYI. I saw even the graphic that Terry posted on Twitter where it was like Liverpool in 6th place. That alone is a disgrace. So that's why when people always expect blind loyalty from football players. I'm not like that. And Mo's completely right. Even I fell for the Edwards and Hughes thing, and they're going to cook and they're going to do this. So far, we've signed a goalkeeper who we're loaning to Valencia. We've signed a 15-year-old from Chelsea, and that's literally our transfer window. Now, if we're talking about players who are interested in joining us, Anthony Gordon was the best left winger in the league last season. He's interested in joining us.
Publicly.
Ederson was one of the best DMs in the Italian league. Mo will tell you right now, last season, he's interested in joining us. I'm sure Alan Varela in Porto, who's the Porto captain, would love to join us. We could name multiple examples of players who make players better. Ait Nouri, I'll give you a perfect example. How many times has Terry put Ait Nouri on a thumbnail in the first month of the transfer window? Every day there was a report coming out from Algeria, from France, from England about Ait Nouri to Liverpool, Ait Nouri from Liverpool. Even that was confirmed by Paul Joyce like a week ago, talking about Ait Nouri. So you can't tell me we're not attracting players. We are attracting players. We just have a serious lack of executional skills or a lack of funds. It's either one or two. It's not a matter of attraction. And the truth of the matter is, people just want Mo and Virgil and Trent and Ali to just be blindly loyal. Guys, this is their career. They are in the twilight of their career. They're players who are recognized by most fans as the best or top 3 or top 5 players in their positions in world football. They're not going to stick around for rebuilds, for Europa League again. They already give you one season of Europa League. Yep. They'll be damned if they do that shit again. So they ain't going to give you that stuff. So you have to keep them by refreshing the squad, by adding additions. If this season, the summer starts, Liverpool sign Ederson from Atalanta, Ait Nouri from Wolves, and then let's say we sell Diaz, we buy Anthony Gordon. Obviously, the likes of Mo, Virgil, Trent, these guys will be a lot more excited about the project going forward. But these guys are arriving at the training center and they're looking at the same exact players who let them down last year. Like, I'm not even being a conspiracy theorist or anything, but there were moments in the Ipswich game where Jota and Mo like did not even pass to Diaz. Like, it's like, I'm not even gonna bother going down that route. Yeah, and that for me shows me that these guys just don't want to be let down. And if I'm in Mo's position, I'm leaving too, because the football club ain't being serious. So why should I waste my time here? Simple as.
No, I understand that. And I think part of your reason of not being able to execute is not wanting to spend. I think that's what it really boils down to at the end of the day. And you always know when a fan base is being kind of lied to and gaslit and sort of suffering from Stockholm syndrome, when they almost celebrate not paying as higher wages as Real Madrid, as higher wages as City, but we looked at the facts just on last week's show. It's still currently on Deloitte's website. You pay £50 million a year more in wages than Manchester United do. So this idea of, oh, we love paying a small amount. I remember Arsenal fans, when it all started to fall apart on the Wenger, I live with a couple of gooners, some of my best mates, live with them. They would just celebrate, oh, but our net spend is so good. But you only have good net spend, generally speaking, especially in that era, when you were losing your best players. Therefore, why on God's green earth are you celebrating? I didn't celebrate Man United's net spend because there was that 3 or 4 year period after Ronaldo left where net spend was amazing because Ronaldo brought in 90 million, which was an astronomical amount of money in that day and age. But I didn't care. I wanted Ronaldo back. I wanted us to go and spend that 90 million straight away on 1 or 2 players to make our team almost as good. It's not, I don't care about how much we have or haven't spent. When you actually look at the 3 most successful teams in England in terms of the eras they've had, it's Man City. There's been 2 from Man United and 2 from Liverpool, where they just dominated for huge periods of time. Each of those teams was some of the highest spenders in the world at that particular juncture. So I don't understand it. Most Real Madrid
we were the highest spenders in the 70s and 80s.
Well, there we go. Man United weren't quite the highest spenders, but we were almost there. Like Blackburn spent a lot, Newcastle did, then Chelsea did. But we were up there. Real Madrid are amazing. Real Madrid are brilliant. Real Madrid have got standards that are sky high. They're in the stratosphere. But to maintain those standards, they have to be one of the biggest spenders. They just do. And the thing is, when you get it right, you don't always have to spend as much because you can kind of go in between. But having said that, they've actually spent nigh on £300 million this summer. It just doesn't show on the transfer websites because they don't show the signing on fees that players get. They don't include them. But you have to spend money to maintain that. So this celebrating not spending like it's a badge of honor, especially when your club is rich. I get it when you're Brighton. Although Brighton 2 years running have smashed their transfer spend. I kind of get it when you're Brighton, when you go, bloody hell, we invested 50 million and look how good we are. Because you've got a club whose income is less than Man United's, Chelsea's, Liverpool's wage bill. Our wage bills are more than their clubs bring in income. So then you celebrate it. But when you're super rich and owned by billionaires, I know we came third. And I know we didn't win a trophy, but look, our net spend is better than the teams above us, and our wage bill, according to this one newspaper, we spend £20 million a year less. So really, morally, we're the winners. And there are now some journalists that push that nonsense out to the fans.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think clubs should act crazy. I don't think clubs should. I think the way Chelsea have operated is irresponsible. If they don't start getting back into Europe and winning soon, they could find themselves with they're burning the candle at both ends. But you guys definitely could have spent more. And I think, as you've said, if Mo Salah leaves, that is really, really worrying. Patrick here says, pay Tesco prices, expect prime steak.
Yeah, that is
Do
true.
you guys know what? Do you guys know what Tesco's is?
Yeah.
Yes, because I lived in a British colony.
Okay, fair enough.
Malaysia has
okay.
Tesco.
There we go. I didn't know that. It's just a supermarket. Although Tesco's quite a good supermarket. It's like middle of the road.
Yeah, I used to shop there.
Yeah, it's like Tesco's and Sainsbury's are kind of in the middle. And then you've got like the Waitrose that are really posh. And then you've kind of got your Icelands and your Aldis in England that are considered not so posh. I personally shop anywhere. I'm working class. Mo Salah is my Conference League baller. He's coming home, Hassam, and your team tears will be beautiful. That's coming from C, who I think's a Chelsea fan. There are some Chelsea fans online that think he's getting Chelsea.
Salah's not going to Chelsea because he's not a football seaman. You remember, you only signed 17, 18, 19-year-olds. He ain't that young, so you're not going to sign a 32-year-old. I doubt it, see. So
I want to call out some Liverpool fans before you go on and do there are some Liverpool fans lately have been doing the best impression of what makes them sleep well at night. This is what people say, and Sam will attest to this. We are third. We're the third best team in the league. We're going to come third, so we're good. We're okay. This is what I'm saying to all of you guys. Mohamed Salah, Trent, Van Dijk, Alisson, they aren't going to the season thinking we're going to come third and we're going to be okay with it. These players go to every game wanting to win. They want to challenge. They want to win the league. I believe that these players go to the games, believe that we can win the league. We have the quality and the talent in this squad to win the league. All we needed is some additions to help this coach, and we can have a chance to win this league. This notion sometimes, some Liverpool fans, not mentioning names, that, yeah, it's a rebuild, we are third, and we're going to be third. We're the third best team, and we're okay. I don't think the players think like that. I don't think your players think this. McAllister is not playing to be third. I'm telling you this. Manchester United, Terry said that Jim Ratcliffe told Ten Hag, and it's a public information, don't care about changing with the league. So the target for Manchester United is not to win the league this season. I am sure that Liverpool target this season is to touch challenge for the league. These players sit in the rooms assuming we're going to challenge for the league. So that's why you need to back the manager.
This is true, and this is why the likes of Shawnee, the likes of Shawnee and others in the chat as well. Listen, I know the people who call me out all the time. It's the same garbage all over again. Shawnee is nowhere to be found when shit hits the fan. But Shawnee's there now because we beat Ipswich 2-0, so he thinks it's all sunshine and rainbows. The only reason why we beat Ipswich 2-0 is actually our two world-class players, of which we have not renewed their contract. So that tells you all you need to know. And on top of all of that, Shawnee, just like FSG, just like Edwards and Hughes, you're not actually being proactive. You want us to be reactive. Meaning, just because we beat Ipswich 2-0 and the players aren't leaving this season, I'm supposed to be happy. But next summer, I'm worried about that already from now because we have to replace about 3-4 players. And on top of all of that, we still haven't signed a DM. We still haven't signed a left back. We still haven't signed a centre back. And if Sepp van den Berg and Joe Gomez leave, then we definitely need a centre back because you ain't going to enter a season with 3 centre backs, of which one of them is extremely injury prone in Konate. But the difference between me and you, I'm proactive. I speak on shit. What happens? Shawnee was the same guy on Straight Facts last season when I said that Arsenal will finish above Liverpool and we'll finish third and we'll drop off because you can't rely on the Chuckle brothers. He was the same guy. Oh, you're so negative. But then when shit hit the fan, Shawnee disappeared. And it's okay, Shawnee. In February, when shit hits the fan, you're going to be one of the ones that disappear. I remember your name, though.
Pav here says, hi, Terry. Love the show. Best on YouTube. Thank you. We appreciate that massively. He says, question as I'm not sure on the difference. Man United were having a good net spend. Man United were having a good net spend was bad, but Arsenal now are trying to buy players for as less as possible is great. I'm confused. So again, having good net spend is too basic. This is why I slag off net spend as a concept, is because it doesn't tell you the full picture. As an example, when you sell an academy player for, say, 50 million, it is pure profit because you don't owe any money on that player, as an example. It shows as pure profit on your accounts. Where if you sell somebody who you bought for 50 million and 2 years later you sell for even 60 million, you're not necessarily making 10 million pound profit. You actually, you might be making a bit more, a little bit less. But what net spend doesn't do is factor in signing on fees, agent fees, doesn't factor in the salary, doesn't factor in bonuses that are on top of that. And it's just not a very accurate way of calculating what has been spent. Equally, some players bring in more income. So as much as Real Madrid have spent nigh on 300 million bringing Mbappe in through signing on fees, agent fees, bonuses, they're going to generate a colossal amount of income because of him as well. So as a signing, it's almost impossible to work out the net cost of him. In fact, over the course of a 4 or 5 year period, there is the potential for a player of that caliber to make you profit. What you do need to be mindful of is, and actually more sensible to focus on, is the PSR element. So it's making sure your club isn't losing beyond the thresholds. That is more important than the net spend conversation, because that's your true net spend as a football club. That is more important, which is why clubs are trying to lower the price of players as much as they can and sell for as much as possible, because they're actually looking at what you would call true net spend, and that's essentially the profit and loss of your football club. And the reason why also net spend was stupid is some clubs for many years, part of their strategy to generate income has been about developing young players and selling them at a profit. Other clubs don't have that as a strategy. Therefore, the net spend for one club will outweigh the other. But if that isn't part of your revenue stream strategy, it doesn't mean you're still not making profit as a football club. You may be doing it in different ways. So it's a very basic sort of tabloid way of looking at who has spent the most and who hasn't. I don't personally use it. I just look at what a club has invested on players. That is, for me, is the most accurate way of doing it, my friend. And that isn't my opinion. That is what all the financial experts have gone on TV and radio for the past 4 or 5 years and said. The only people that celebrate net spend are the people that are using it as a safety net or comfort blanket to protect themselves. That's it. Outside of that, it's just an irrelevance. It really, really is an irrelevance. And, you'll have Chelsea at the minute that have sold a lot of their academy players, a huge amount of income coming. But they have very few academy players left that are worth any money now. So if this batch of current players doesn't work, they can't do it again. So it's good in the short term sometimes, but not always in the long term. It depends on why you're doing it and what. Don't listen to Terry. Pure profit doesn't exist. It does exist in terms of PSR, and that's because there are certain elements of your losses that can be written off under PSR. Okay. So when you sell an academy player, when you sell anybody, by the way, your ledger shows the income for that player as an instant transaction. So you may not be getting the 60 million pounds straight away, but it appears on your trading accounts as 60 million pounds in. If it's an academy player, you don't have any debt on that player. The salary, you stop paying the salary, thus no debt, and you don't owe any other clubs any money. So there's no debt on that player. So that 60 million that hits your business, it's referred to as pure profit because it hits your business and there's you don't have to spend any of it on that player. If you sell him for 60 million, but you still owe 75 million pounds to the previous club you purchased him from, that's not profit, is it? Because you've still got to spend that money on that player. So it is a genuine concept, my friend, and you've just done yourself there big time. Moving on from that, this here, Madrid's last 12 years is not top 10 net spend, and last 5 years, 90% of the squad bought in the last 5 years, they are less than West Ham, City, and Real by Smart. So again, Real Madrid do. So people will say that salary is something you've got to focus on because the salary they offer people is crazy. So what Real Madrid have been able to do is spend less by adding to what is a brilliant squad. But you keep that brilliant squad by paying them very, very, very exorbitant amounts of money, which 95% of other football clubs around the world couldn't afford to pay them because they don't have the revenues of Real Madrid. So again, net spend is too much of a basic low-level way of assessing the situation. If you're well run, which I do agree with, you don't have to keep spending as much because it's a top player here and a top player there and adding this couple of youngsters here and you develop them at the same time. The reason why Man United's net spend, if you use net spend, looks awful in the last decade is because we have all these failed projects and then you have to rip it out and start again. So you spend loads of money, you sell it all cheaply because it's failed and you have to spend big again, which is why if Chelsea's current crop don't work, they could be in trouble because you're going to sell it all at a loss. Very few academy players left. And to get back to the top, you've got to spend big. So that's why Madrid are in a good position from that point of view. But net spend isn't the barometer. Speaking of Chelsea, obviously with signing João Felix has come in. He's through the door. That's over the line. We're going to get on to talking about Osimhen a little bit later. But it's the manager has come out today, gentlemen, and this is what he said. He has stated that Raheem Sterling, he goes, I have to be honest, he will have no minutes here. We also know, and he stated that a number of the Chelsea senior squad, around 10 to 15 of them, are not training with the first team squad. He stated that I'm not saying Raheem Sterling is a bad player, but I prefer a different kind of winger. It's simple. Similar words said about Ben Chilwell. Similar things said about Chalobah. Loads of their senior players, loads of their more experienced players are essentially being told, don't train with us. You've got no chance at this club. You have to move on. Some Chelsea fans think this is disrespectful. You're going to create a divide if you can't get rid of them. They feel that they're doing it. The manager's only saying and doing this because it's about balancing the books and the mistakes from Clear Lake as opposed to what's right from a footballing sense. There are other Chelsea fans, I want to be fair and balanced here, that are stating that this is the ruthless streak that Chelsea need. This treatment of Sterling, this treatment of Chalobah, this treatment of Gallagher and co. is exactly what's going to get Chelsea back on track. Hussam, how do you see it, mate?
There are other quotes from Maresca. I'm not working with 42 players. I'm working with 21 players. The other 15 to 20 players are training apart. I don't see them. It's not a mess like it looks from outside. Absolutely not. They can even have a 20 years contract. It's not my point. I don't care, is what Maresca says. Who even speaks like this? Like, who the fuck even speaks like this? This guy needs some media training of how to speak properly to the media, because that's a crazy comments. Chelsea fans always just want us to come up here and just say positive bullshit about their club. You know, there's communist Merseyside, there's also communist London, and they all wear blue because they just behave the same exact way that the Liverpool fans who don't want us to criticize the ownership and shit behave. You know, listen, I've had no problem with Chelsea selling Gallagher. You know, I think Gallagher disrespected Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea disrespected Gallagher because 3 contracts he was offered. He had offers from 6 clubs. He didn't make a decision. So the Gallagher thing, I agree with it. But the truth of the matter is Chelsea are an absolute mess right now. And it's genuinely not going to sink into these Chelsea fans' thick skulls until November, September, October, December, the end of the season. When they look at their team, they look at their squad, and they're in 8th place, 9th place, 10th place, because they don't realize what I was talking about on Sunday against City. I'm looking at the signs, Terry. It's not about the result. No one cares if they lost 2-0 at home to Man City. Obviously, it's not like you're going to expect them to go like, Maresca out, we lost 2-0 at home to City. We know this. But it's about the signs. It's about the fact that this is going to take time. I am going to agree with every single Chelsea fan who backs Maresca. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, Maresca is going to be a successful manager at Chelsea. In order for Maresca to get to the stage of which he is a successful manager at Chelsea, this shit needs 3 years minimum. They need 3 years of building, 3 years of signing players, 3 players of consistency with the same exact manager to not sack him. So it's just step by step by step by step to get to that level of which Chelsea can become successful. Now, the problem is, and I actually had a conversation with Lewis about this, it's not even the content creators or people being patient. I think the bridge, like that, the problem is the stadium itself. Like the match goers, I think, have already like disliked the style of football. And there's actual reasons for this, and I've stated this before. And I'm just being objective. I don't think Chelsea, in their whole successful era, have ever had a manager that plays possession football. Like, they've never been that team. They've never been that club. They don't care about possession. And I think it's something they're just not used to. They're not used to a manager just wanting to pass left, pass right 500 times and control possession. It's like it's a little bit of like over the last 20 years, they're successful managers, Mourinho, Conte, you know, whoever it is that was successful at Chelsea mostly had counterattacks, solid defenses. That's kind of how they operated. So when you talk about Maresca, it's a complete different shift in style from what they wanted. The only person who's similar to Maresca was Sarri, and even Chelsea fans will tell you he was extremely toxic at the end of the Sarri era, you know, because of the fact that many people wanted them left. But Chelsea fans are not really the biggest fans of possession football and the style and stuff like that. And I don't think that they will be patient, to be honest with you. You know, even if people in the chat are patient, and even if like the content creators are patient, maybe Don will be patient. You know, maybe whoever it is you bring on Chelsea match reactions, Chaz, whoever, maybe they'll be patient. But I think the bridge won't be patient. And this is the biggest problem, because when he starts getting booed by the fans and all this shit happens, that's when things will truly hit the fan. But I feel like Maresca will survive this season because Bowley, Iqbali have to stick by this guy now. He have to stick by this guy. It's not going to be a thing where they actually like, how can I say this? It's not going to be a thing where like, even if they get bad results, they sack him, because they have to stick by their guy. This is the guy they gave a 5-year contract to. However, this season, Chelsea have a lot to do. I think winning the Conference League is a genuine normal thing for the Chelsea fans to want. Top 4 is a step too far for me. But yeah, this project is going to take time. But do Chelsea fans have the patience? Infamously, on Straight Facts, one of the main debates me and Terry had was on Chelsea from a year ago when I was doing Straight Facts by my own on Fridays. I told him, the problem is, Terry, not the spend, not the players, not the manager. The problem is the fan base. The Chelsea fan base are the least patient fan base in the Premier League by far. Like, let's assume genuinely Maresca is going to be successful. No one sees it happening this year or the year after. It's going to take time. Are they willing to give him time? That's the $1 million question. So, yeah.
Before I go to Mo, I want to say on this that I'm so on the fence with Chelsea. I find it hard to give opinions on them, genuinely, because I see the argument that you've got to be ruthless with the players that you want to get out. I see that argument. You know, you don't want people at the club that you don't want there. But the ruthlessness, I mean, saying that Sterling isn't the kind of player that you want. He's a much better version than Mudryk. He's a much better version of Madueke. So the fact that they're sticking by those two and they're moving Sterling on, I can't help but also think, is money a motivator in that as well? Let's get rid of the slightly better option, but the far more expensive option, if possible. And if and when your decision-making ever revolves around money, it's problematic. And I know that as a Man United fan. So I try to be as sort of unbiased and sort of dispassionate as I can be when talking about Chelsea, because I do see both sides of the argument. But I think Chelsea fans have got to remain open-minded. And the way the manager's spoken about these players, I find it really interesting, because if he'd have said this about players, all the Chelsea fans, and some Chelsea fans are fuming. Roy Jennings, fuming. CB, fuming. I'm sure Johnny Minerals is fuming. That group of Chelsea fans is angry that he's doing it. And I'm also sure that the likes of Ches and the likes of Don wouldn't be calling it brilliant and ruthless if he was publicly talking about players they rate like this. If Poch had said this about certain players they like, I think they would say, don't air our dirty linen in public. These things should be kept private. In the same way everybody reacted to Jadon Sancho. I'm never really a fan of a manager talking in this way. You can still praise your players and say, look, I love Raheem Sterling. He's a really talented player. He's not top of our pecking order right now, but he's got a chance of fight. You can always paint it in a way where you're not disrespecting the player. And I need to remain true to myself in that regard. But Chelsea, the reason I say it feels a mess, I'm just looking at their fan base. It's not even about my opinion. I'm being open-minded here. The fact that their fan base is so split, and typically it's either everything's all okay or we are absolutely in trouble, that tells me there's some problems. And where you're right, and Chelsea fans won't hear this through what we're saying, it will be shooting the messenger thing again. Some Chelsea fans will.
100%. It's already happening.
Getting through this is about patience, because it isn't fine and dandy. I'm not stating you can't make it better. I don't think it's as doom and gloom as CB and Johnny Minerals and Rory Jennings make it out to be. I don't think they're finished as a football club. I think that's well over the top. They could even have a good season this year. Equally, do I think they're cooking? Not yet. I think they're in the preparation stage. I don't think they've turned the ovens on yet as a football club. But you can't do that until you've done your preparation. And they are clearing out a lot of mistakes. And I think the guys that are really positive, it's almost like they don't want to acknowledge that they've really fucked up in the last 2 years either. No, we didn't. It's all okay. And I feel like it's the conversation maybe and the discourse around Chelsea that's probably clouding my judgment of them as a football club, because it feels like a messy conversation. I feel like a lot of people are not being honest about Chelsea. It's not completely screwed, but it isn't sunshine and rainbows either. I feel like there's a happy medium, a balance in the middle. But the only way out of this is with the Chelsea fans and the board being patient, because they're going to have some hard times.
Yeah, patience
they're going to have some brilliant ones too. They will have some brilliant moments this season, but they're going to have some hard ones too. And I think fans have got to detach themselves from their own personal wants and desires and be honest and be supportive. And supportive doesn't mean just saying nice things. Sometimes tough love is needed as well. So it's a really interesting scenario at Chelsea, looking at everything that's going on and looking at essentially the two sides. I'm seeing two sides of the argument, either completely angry and
right somewhere in the middle then.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't met anyone in the middle yet. I haven't spoke to. I mean, I'm talking about who's come on the shows. In the comment section, they'll be there. The Football Terrace community is amazing. But online, it's either we're doomed or I don't think we're far away from City almost. It seems to be those two spectrums. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
I just want to say one sentence only, Mo. One sentence before I forget. Chelsea Football Club, Chelsea, we all know what Chelsea are, have been reduced to signing a player from Atletico Madrid because they have to. So they end up signing a player that is basically deception personified and gives him a 7-year contract. Chelsea's transfer strategy is sign a player from Atletico Madrid. If you think that football club is headed in the right direction just based on Felix alone, you know exactly the direction they're headed in. Go ahead, Mo.
No, I just wanted to say I disagree with Osimhen a bit. Like what Enzo Maresca did is actually what he said is actually good. I actually disagree with what Osimhen said. I think him saying that I will manage the players, that I manage the players that I want at the club is actually the right move. The people to call out here are the board that gave Raheem Sterling that contract and signed him from Man City. It's not Enzo Maresca's job to pat anybody on the back at the team. And he's sending a message to all the fans that not because the player has a contract, they will play. I disagree with Terry in terms of the technicals. I think Raheem Sterling is the most overrated player ever in the English football history. This is my opinion. He benefited massively. I've said that many times. He benefited massively from the system of Pep Guardiola. No, not actually Jack Grealish. Raheem Sterling benefited massively. Some people put Raheem Sterling in top 10 wingers in the history of the Premier League. That's what I call overrated. He's the most overrated player ever in the history of the Premier League. What Chelsea doing for Sterling as a board, putting him aside, might be disrespect. But Enzo Maresca is not obligated to coach anyone who doesn't want to play, by the way. He isn't.
True.
That's actually, by the way, that is actually opposing to what we all thought, that Enzo Maresca is just a yes man. I'm not sure if Enzo Maresca is doing this to please the board, but Enzo Maresca said it out loud. I am only coaching the player that I have in my plans. I am not coaching the others. You sort that out. And also, I want to say something that.
So, Mo, let me ask you a question on that quickly, Mo. So, do you think this is Enzo Maresca's decision, or do you think the board are saying we need to sell the academy players to balance the books, and we need to get rid of the players on the higher wages? So, which side of the argument do you think?
I don't know. I don't think I know. I don't know.
But what's your opinion? I don't know either. But what's your opinion?
My opinion is Raheem Sterling is a horrific player and doesn't suit the system of position-based football. I'm telling you, Raheem Sterling does not suit that system that Chelsea want to play, and he isn't technical enough to fit in that squad. Neto is better than him. I actually think Madueke, at the current moment, is a better player than him. So that's why, if you ask Mo's opinion, I would have done the same as Maresca. You want to tell the money involved? Maybe. Because there is another aspect that people forget. You want to sign Osimhen, you have to lower your wage bill to be able to include someone like Osimhen in.
But this is
that is something important.
And I think if they get rid of these players on big wages, then go and get Osimhen, who's got to come in on 250 minimum. If they do that, then I think it goes a long way to answering the questions. They're not just getting rid of Raheem Sterling to lower the wage bill to recoup money. They're doing it to reinvest in the team. If they get rid of Raheem Sterling and Chalobah and Chilwell, these guys on big money,
we are a Google, yes, okay,
yeah, and then I think that's and it's also this, and I'll say this to everybody that's defending Maresca. The reason why I think it's potentially wrong to speak the way he has done is if your club don't get rid of the players, because then you have these 10, 15 players in the training ground. Yes, they're not doing the sessions with you every day, disgruntled, frustrated, rightly or wrongly. That's a bad work environment.
But I'm going to respond to you in a bit. I'm going to respond to you.
No, you can respond now. That'd be my concern for them.
Yes,
if they don't get rid of them.
Okay, hear me out. Well, people. Okay, so Terry said the truth. It's not good to talk about your players, especially your assets that you want to sell. However, Raheem Sterling is a special case. Why? Raheem Sterling is a big player in the English football. He's a big player, right? Once he wasn't included, he and his camp spoke publicly against Maresca and Chelsea. So they had to respond. There is a difference between if Maresca came out of nowhere.
True, very true.
Like what Ten Hag, does that make sense? Like what Ten Hag said, okay, Sancho doesn't train well. Sancho didn't say anything against you. But Raheem Sterling literally, publicly, and Fabrizio reported, said, I want clarification. Maresca said, here you go, my friend.
So he's had the clarification. No, so you're absolutely right about that. But the point still remains. Who went first is almost irrelevant. If they have now made their stance clear, they've obviously made their stance clear privately. They then made it publicly because of Raheem Sterling. I'll concede that 100%. I don't have a genuine issue with it. I'm not a Chelsea fan. If they don't get rid of these players now and they're sitting in that dressing room, and then if things don't go well on the pitch, that's where it can all start going, when it can all start going wrong. And I think that's why I don't think it's all doom and gloom. But equally, this idea that is the perfect strategy, we'll see. I don't think anyone can make those claims right now because there's so much that's going on. There's a
let me just add one point before you go.
Sorry, go on, brother. Go on.
So Sam said to Chelsea 2 years ago, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you adding all these players without a strategy? That is what happened. All the Gui and the players you signed from Brazil and Argentina, by the way, they still have
some of them are leaving already. Some are leaving, you know this? Angelo Gabriel is leaving, and there's other players.
When I said that I think this project, I want this project to fail for people to not do the same. Not because I hate Chelsea or anything, right? Chelsea for me is like, I like Chelsea. Chelsea broke the cycle of Man United and Arsenal back in the 2000s, right? But the way you run this project, and I'm going to say this, if it worked, people would have done the same. People would have said, okay, flip for profit FC. Let's do it. There are still a lot of players, about 3-4 players, if I'm not mistaken, that Chelsea signed. They still have to come into the squad next season. That means that limits your availability to sign more players next season as well if you have holes in the squad. It's a dangerous game. It's very strange that Chelsea fans didn't see it 2 years ago when they cleared out the Koulibalys and everybody and kept signing and signing. And most of the Chelsea fans, and I'm hearing this, the last thing I'm going to say about this is that finally Chelsea fans saw the light and said, yes, we need a center back, but we're sorry, we actually have a lot of them, so we can't sign a center. You know that you need a center back, but you can't sign a center back because you have a lot of them. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you need to look at this, that you signed a lot of players that maybe are useless, are not good enough, or you were unlucky. That is the problem.
Yeah, and I'm not even looking at Maresca. I'm looking at the people upstairs because they made the same mistakes with about, 5-6 managers over the last 3 years. So I'm not looking at Maresca. I'm not even talking about Maresca. I'm talking about their ownership, Bowley, Iqbali, whoever the hell, Stanley Stewart. These are the guys that are at fault for me.
So but this is what I mean by the fan base having like problems. And I think that cognitive dissonance kicks in. They don't listen. Chez has just messaged me saying, Terry, why are you assuming that we are only getting rid of Sterling due to being the highest paid option? What if I told you he's declining, poor decision making, poor leadership? I didn't sit here and
why did you give him a 5-year contract?
But even that, I've sat here, and I think I have presented both sides of the arguments. That some are stating that this is a Maresca decision, doesn't see him as part of his team. There are others that believe this is being forced upon him. This is how you know a club's got problems, because they're not even listening when it comes to conversations about their club if they hear one element that they don't like. Because to even throw that question back at me after the beginning of this at 30 minutes and about 40 seconds is I've presented both sides of the argument, and I've said I find it very hard to give a forthright opinion. I don't believe the extremities that the club's all bad and all wrong. I'm not even saying it's completely wrong to do what Maresca has done. I'm stating that where the problems may lie is if you don't get rid of him and many others, and you've got all these disgruntled, angry senior players at your club for the next 6 months to a year, that can become poisonous. How do I know? We've had it at Manchester United. It was a big problem for us. So I'm just being balanced about this. I'm not going to sit here and say it's sunshine and rainbows chairs at Chelsea when it clearly isn't and hasn't been for the past couple of years. Also, I'm not going to sit here and say I agree with people that think Chelsea are finished, that Maresca's a dud manager and they can't turn things around. I think here is about applying balance. So I've had a lot of messages like that from people, and it's a case of, but you're repeating things that I haven't. You're almost taking one comment out of context or one question out of context. It's kind of strange to me, strange behavior. Sterling lost the number 7 to Pedro Neto.
That is disrespectful. That is disrespectful.
Before he's left the club, you mean?
Yes, of course. Before the guy hasn't left the club yet, you're taking his shirt from him.
But equally, all the Chelsea fans are saying this isn't disrespectful. You now have to maintain this energy. If Maresca decides I ain't playing Cole Palmer, and then says at Christmas, Cole Palmer's barely going to play, he doesn't fit my system. I'm just throwing it out there. You can't pick and choose the behavior. You can disagree with who he's kicking out. You can't complain about the behavior ever again. So any Chelsea fan stating, I like this ruthless mentality, you have to applaud it, even when it's towards a player that you disagree with who's being treated that way. When it's a player you like.
Fernandez soon.
If Enzo Fernandez gets out, you've got to say, do you know what? I love Enzo, but the manager's absolutely right to publicly state that he is not my player. He isn't good enough, and he's got to leave, or he's not going to kick a ball. That's the only way I can take these Chelsea fans seriously that are saying the actions are right. Forget who it's towards. You know, we see that a lot in this world where we sort of love an action towards someone we dislike, but we would hate it if it happened to us, if that makes sense. It does happen a lot. Sign one club over sign, one club can't sign life. Okay, I get you on there. Mo, once again, can you teach these childish Chelsea fans how to spot and smell I don't know what it's meant to be. Yeah, okay, there we go. Right, okay. I don't even know what that's talking about. I call Sterling overrated and beneficiary of a system is shallow. I can also say Havertz is a beneficiary of Arteta's system, and so he is also overrated.
You can say that, my friend. You can say that. You can say Havertz benefit from the system at Arsenal. I don't. That's not bad at all. You can say Havertz is overrated.
Mo, once again, sorry, I already done that super chat. Sorry. The way Chelsea are treating their players is a disgrace, and karma will bite them in the arse. No doubt about it, is what's been said here. So
I can't wait to raise the biggest middle finger to all the Chelsea fans this year.
but I want, by the way, after you finish super chat, remind me please to ask Osam one question, please.
Oh.
One question regarding that particular super chat.
Oh, okay.
After Chelsea, just out of respect for the super chatters. Go ahead, Terry.
Did Terry just lag out?
No. I was waiting for you two to finish. For me,
about respect to super chat, I'm going to ask someone last question on Chelsea, maybe out of that one super chat that you just showed.
So
Matthew.
Okay, yeah. Ask that question. Ask that question. Then we'll do the super chat. Yes.
How do you think, Osam, they can fix the overinflated squad then for you?
They have to fix the overinflated squad by exactly what Carragher said. And by the way, people looked at once again with Jamie Carragher, and you could just tell when I say Chelsea fans are showing that they lack serious brain cells, I'm not joking. I'm being serious. Their responses to the Carragher video is all, oh my God, cry more. You're just jealous. You're just blah, blah. It's the same shit over and over again. But there are Chelsea fans who actually listen to what Carragher says and like, you know what? This guy's actually saying the truth about the football club. Number one, Chelsea need to stop signing players. Stop. At this point, just stop. Allow the players that you have gotten to develop, become better, so that they can become the players that you think that they will become. So that Cole Palmer becomes the best right winger, so that Neto becomes the best left winger, so that Enzo Fernandez becomes the best and Caicedo becomes the best and blah, blah, blah. So you have to give them time to develop. And you have to stick with Enzo Maresca because he's your guy now. So he's the guy that you hired to become the manager. You have to stick with him. You cannot sack him this season, even if you finish 10th. You've got to stick with him, show the whole world we're backing this guy, we're backing the plan, we're backing the idea, and we eventually think that we're going to get there. They need to stop signing anyone, and they need to get to selling players. I said, and you guys both know this, that selling Gallagher is the smart idea. I said that selling certain players, I even think selling Sterling is the smart idea. I've never said anything against that. There are players that they need to get rid of, but they need to stop signing now. So they should just stop signing players. And how they fix this mess is then if they do sign players, they need to be players in prime age who are ready to win now, players who actually upgrade everyone and elevate everyone around them, like an Osimhen, someone like that. Felix on a 7-year contract is not an indicator of a smart club.
This here says, as a Chelsea fan since 1989, I've seen it all here. You certainly have. Love the show and watch it daily. Sterling has played half-assed since the arrival as a Todd Bowley signing and doesn't track back on defense ever. Bye, Raheem, and good luck. And I agree. I think he's been a poor signing for Chelsea. That element I won't disagree with at all. It's just more action. Like there are certain Chelsea fans, I'm not even going to name them because I can't be dealing with it, having a debate about it. But they came on my shows during the Sancho thing and I went back and checked on the Clips channel. They made very unequivocal statements that at no point, no matter who starts it, should clubs be talking about their players in any which way other than positive in public. But today I've seen the person tweet regularly saying, I love that my club's treating the players I don't want like this. And that's probably more my issue. On a personal level today, that's where I'm like, man, you're showing your ass crack. But I'll save that. I've saved the super chats. I'll save the clips. One day I'll cook them. But I'm going to let them marinate for a little while first. If you're a pro footballer, your job is to play football to the best of your ability. If you're not selected in the squad, you can cry and whine whilst you can pull your socks up and show the manager your worth. This is true, but if the manager's saying that you're not going to get a chance, then it is what it is. I still would disagree with the statement that he made. He shouldn't be doing that either, 110%. Sterling is still at the club. It's a madness, in my opinion. Having said that, though, but your manager spoke about, again, I'm not condemning what Maresca's done 100%. I've got a preference, but I'm being open-minded. Your manager did this with the bang and it helped your club.
You're not going to let it go. You're not going to let it go. Going to talk about everyone when the manager is talking publicly about players. Are they going to say about Arteta and Aubameyang? That's your next example.
But yeah, he's an Arsenal fan that praised that, and now he's saying it's a madness that it's happening. My point is this: I don't necessarily like it, but I can be dispassionate, I can be unbiased, I can be objective about it and go, well, I understand in different scenarios, different situations. What I don't like is you'll get someone like Matt who's a gooner that will go, my manager had to do up and stand up for ourselves. Another club does it and he goes, madness, bloody madness, what's going on? It's slow down. This here says 0408 EM Sterling. I don't know what EM means. Sterling is a very important player for me. Oh, that's Maresca. Important player. On the 21st, if Sterling is not my type of winger, make of it what you will. The man is under orders. But that's exactly why I presented both sides of the argument. He has said that he's an important player for me. I thought he was really good. I thought he was. Chelsea weren't good in pre-season, but Sterling was one of their best players when he was coming on from the bench, as an example. But yeah, in the space of 2 weeks, it's completely changed. But equally, defending Maresca, maybe that's because he's gone and got, let's be fair, he's got Pedro Neto in now, and he's gone and got João Felix, and maybe now he's like, I've got two players that are better, therefore, and I'm getting Osimhen. See you later, son. So there is that side. If we're going to be fair,
that's why for me, when Terry asked Mo the question, the answer was ownership, not Maresca. I'll not believe that any manager at Chelsea is making decisions because they sacked Poch for that exact
Well,
reason.
equally, they said that's also it. This is where it becomes such a great debate. Chelsea fans, I think, celebrated the idea we don't have a manager anymore. We have a head coach who doesn't make these decisions. He's there to coach. So therefore, it can't ever be a Maresca decision, can it? Or, or does he have a veto? Does he have a... I just like consistency. There's so many great arguments to this. That's what I mean. It's all just a little bit messy. For me, I would believe Clearlake are rectifying their mistakes if it continues and the treatment is similar to Mudryk and underperforming players. This is true. I mean, the fact is this. I mean, I don't think they can get rid of him. But yeah, why would Mudryk? I don't think any. I know some Chelsea fans still back Mudryk, but I think he's awful. Ibby here says, as soon as I saw the Sterling news, I thought to myself, don't you dare, Arteta, don't you dare. Definitely expecting reports of interest. Do you think any of the top Premier League teams might come in for him?
Liverpool.
I mean, here's the thing. I think Arsenal fans have like a fetish of just like signing other crap players from other like big six clubs and quote unquote fixing them. Like there are Arsenal players who actively would take fans, who would actively take Nunes, who would actively take Mudryk, who would actively take Sterling. Arsenal need a higher level player than that right now in order to win a league title. I don't think Sterling necessarily helps them with that specifically. So that's my thing. I think they need a much better player than that.
Let me paint the
Arsenal
scenario.
signed Sterling, they are finished.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to call you out on that though, Mo. I don't think they should.
Okay.
So you said earlier that Sterling's overrated, but he only produced because he was in a system, a good system and a well-run club that got the best out of him. So as a backup player, wouldn't the excellent system and the great culture currently at Arsenal potentially get a return on a much lower investment on someone like Raheem Sterling now? Because as people like you have said before, they're like a slightly different version of Man City anyway. So why would it finish Arsenal signing somebody that you say only works in good systems?
I don't think he starts, and Sterling off the bench is not useful. At Manchester City, he was a starter, and Pep's system was favoring the wingers that much. At the end, if you look at Arsenal at the current moment, I have a score goal. Since he played as a striker, he scores goals. The system doesn't favor the winger. Martinelli we are not seeing yet Martinelli from 2 seasons ago. I don't think Arteta can revive this guy. This guy's too old. And by the way, there is another thing. Raheem Sterling at Chelsea, we have seen it now for the last 2 seasons, is not a hard worker. Chelsea fans can attest to that, and I think everybody sees that. He doesn't work hard. For Arsenal, you see that the team work for each other. It's a machine that works for each other. Raheem Sterling is not going to work in that system. He isn't going to work with the team. He just won't.
See, ladies and gentlemen, there's a comment that's coming here saying Terry thinks Sterling can work for us. First of all, I said that I don't think they should sign him. But the reason I asked the question is to prove a point that people like Mo don't just say things without any substance behind it. My question isn't to push a statement. It's to gain a deeper understanding of what someone's saying. Because a lot of YouTubers, I'm telling you, they just say things. I think Joe Bloggs is dead. Explain why. Oh, because I just think he is. It's just a nonsense. Mo gave a proper explanation. Love that. This here says, soft clowns for Sam literally complained about Klopp not being ruthless for years. Maresca did the right thing. This is sports, and these players are finished, is what English Talent FC says.
I actually didn't say anything about your manager. Like, Terry asked a question, and I spoke for 7 minutes. I spoke about Maresca like 10 seconds of them. So I don't know how that your response can be.
Matt says, context, Aubameyang was a troublemaker.
Why didn't you read one before this? Can't believe I actually agree with Hussam. Yeah, read that. All that.
Matt, but this is the thing. So there's context behind every situation. But of course, you either agree with publicly airing dirty linen or you don't, in my humble opinion. And I think that it's something you should try and avoid as best you can. Good players respect that. Good player respect his career he has had. Shocking statement. No going back now. Neto and Felix are better. Wages are crazy also. Osimhen and a centre-back needed. Big up, Kieran. Hope you're well, bro. Krishna says, this was my energy for Aubameyang, Sancho, and now Sterling. If you think you are above the club, leave. Club is above everyone. But at least you're consistent with that, bro. I love that. I do love that. Terry, which one is a better coach, Ten Hag or Slots? And which one would you rather have at United? Ten Hag. There you go. question answered. And that's because I'm purely being biased, because once someone's touched Liverpool, I don't want them at Man United. So I wouldn't take Klopp now, even though I know he's amazing because he's been at Liverpool. I don't like it. I'd take one of your players as manager because we've done that before with Sir Matt Busby, but I wouldn't take a manager as manager. I wouldn't. Although I did like Michael Owen. That was a nice little dagger in your hearts. I did like that. Useless. I'm mistaken. Only game has been played, and let's fully write off Chelsea. Great analysis. Who's DJ? Who has written off Chelsea? No one. This is what I mean. Cognitive dissonance. Nobody has written Chelsea off on this show today. Other people on other shows have, yes. But none of us here have said they're dead this season. They're coming 10th. Nothing
Even I
will
haven't
happen.
said that.
No one has said that, DJ.
Sam had them like 6 or something like this.
No one
Yeah,
has
I
said
think
that,
they're
DJ.
Yeah.
Come on now. He also here, a big up for the super chat, by the way. He says, Chelsea are a mess because we're getting rid of highly paid players who have delivered crap performances. No, that isn't what's been said. We're talking
DJ,
about...
once again, because he mentioned my name.
Yes, he does.
DJ, clearly your eardrums are in your asshole, not in your ears, because you're not even listening. I didn't even criticize the Sterling thing to begin with. I didn't talk about you selling Sterling. I'm talking about the bigger picture with your ownership, with your scouts, with your direction. No one mentioned Sterling. I think selling Sterling is the right decision. Signing him to begin with on a 5-year deal is the wrong decision. So selling him is the right decision because I don't think he helps you now. Start to listen and actually argue back the stuff that we say instead of just being, showing the whole world that you have no listening skills whatsoever.
And where I'm saying there's a mess is because you've got player and manager public disputes. You've got 15 odd players that are going to have to train separately that you're trying to get rid of as an example. You've got lots of untried and tested players. The Felix and the Gallagher situation is crazy. You are trying to fix the mess. There's no doubt. But if Chelsea weren't in a mess, you'd be considered a title contender. Same as Man United. 110%. Both our clubs are in a mess, and I think that we have to wake up and accept that. Hassam isn't wrong about the atmosphere. It's shocking to hear them booing at 30 minutes in. I do like the growing rumours about Chelsea getting a centre-back. Yeah, you need one. You definitely need one.
Another agreement
you really do.
Gonna wake up soon, all of you. Cannot wait.
We are competing with Liverpool for Lookman. Oh, is that an ask? Is that a recent? Is that where's that come from, Mr.
Yeah, this has been. Everyone said that on my chat. Lookman to Arsenal. It's crazy. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I looked for it. Who tweeted this? But there is a source for it. I don't know who's the source.
I tell you a big bit of news that just come out here that I've just read, and we're going into the Arsenal section of the show anyway for the last 20 minutes. But this is from TalkSport. Take it however you will. It says that TalkSport understands that Arsenal and Forest are confident of coming to an agreement worth £30 million. Yes. Arsenal do not currently have any plans to replace Nketiah should he make the move. So according to that one report, and that's quite forthright from TalkSport, they're stating there is no plans to replace get a new striker. Now, Lookman isn't a striker. That makes sense. So you can play semantics there. But if they let Nketiah go for 30 million and don't bring a replacement, they're close to getting a few done deals done. We know Moreno's coming. Ramsdale looks likely to leave. It feels really close now to Eddie Nketiah going. But surely they've got to replace him, Mo, with another striker or another top attacker.
I actually changed my opinion. They need an attacker. They don't need a striker now. I think a goal-scoring winger might fix the problem. And I'm a believer now that Gabriel Jesus can be
told you.
Yeah, I'm just what the hell Sterling? What the fuck? If they get Adam Lookman, he's a goal-scoring winger. I know that I said before that they need a striker, but now me looking at how the fans are talking about Martinelli now, they might need a left winger. That left wing, it has to come to life. It cannot only be Bukayo Saka the whole season. You have to have another guy that will replicate what Martinelli did 2 seasons ago. And it might be Adam Lookman. I know Adam Lookman did not work well before. Did he play for Everton?
Yeah, he was at Everton a few, yeah.
Everton.
What is this mediocre Olympics, Mo? Lookman?
But that's what I mean. Maybe
he scored 17.
By the way, Sam,
let me jump in a second. He scored 17 goals last season, 15 goals the year before. He's 26 years of age. I mean, that's a decent. There's a potential there for some goals, potential there for some backup, potential there. I mean, he's better than Diaz.
He can play a
He's
striker. You know that he can play a striker, right? You know he play as in a two, like some. He plays in a two-man striker, so he
Oh,
can.
can
play
he?
a striker.
Okay.
Yeah, there is another thing that I actually noticed. If Arsenal get a Mitoma or an Mbeumo, it doesn't have to be Adam or Lookman. It can just be a goal-scoring winger, right? This can solve the problems of the weight on the shoulder of Gabriel Jesus to get goals or Bukayo Saka to get goals. I said that Arsenal need a striker, assuming that they aren't going to get a winger. They need an attacker. If you are keeping Martinelli and Trossard, you will need a striker to get you out of trouble. But if you're going to get a winger like a Mitoma or a Mbeumo or a Lookman that will give you 15 to 20 goals, maybe it'll give you 25 GA in the season, I think that will be enough for them. Because I actually think Kai Havertz still might improve as well. Might improve. He might not get you the 25 goals, but I think he's going to improve. That's what I said before. Like, this Martinelli test has to end very soon. Very soon. Do you know what I mean? Like, it cannot go for 15, 20 games. Oh, we're going to get Martinelli back. If he doesn't come back, look at Bukayo Saka. First game, bang. Odegaard, brilliant. Rice, brilliant. Havertz, a goal. If Martinelli keeps this going for 2-3 games, it might be too late for you to get a winger. And you might have to rely on your right side and the striker to deliver every single game like what you did last season until Trossard came at the end. That is my point. This Martinelli experiment, we're going to revive Martinelli. Bro, it might not work and the window might be past you and you don't have anybody. If Martinelli needs a replacement, just replace the guy. Havertz is good. Jesus looks so fit now coming off the bench. I think that's enough. Eddie Nketiah was not even a big part of the squad. People need to understand this. Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, people are acting like Eddie Nketiah was the problem. He wasn't.
Provided something, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't. He basically didn't. And Arsenal finished 2 points without basically a left winger last season behind City. So come on, give it a rest. Eddie Nketiah was not important.
I think Arsenal is a goal-scoring winger, you know, because even if Havertz get you 13 goals, if you have 2 wingers that score goals, that's okay. And here's the thing with Momo's absolutely right about Saka. The thing people need to realize about Saka is you need to alleviate pressure off of Saka. And I keep the energy same for my same club. I don't want us to just go with Salah and that's it. Khalas, if Salah doesn't score, we're screwed. If Saka doesn't score, Arsenal are screwed. That cannot be your outlook into the season. Listen, Martinelli was absolutely horrendous against Wolves, in my opinion. You know, but if he can step it up and start scoring goals, fair enough. But I don't think you can really go into the season with ifs. Mo said something important last week. I'm actually surprised he didn't bring it up again this week, which is Arsenal can't go into the season with ifs. They need like someone in their prime, someone ready to win, someone ready to score. Lookman, yes, he's had a good season, but we've seen him at Everton. We've seen him, I think he played for another Premier League club as well. He's not like amazing.
Leicester City.
Leicester.
Did he play for Leicester City?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for Leicester City.
He's not like amazing or anything. He's just a good winger, you know. So, but you need something better than that.
Well, Salah played for Chelsea and he was average.
Okay, khalas. You just said don't sign Lookman. Now you're going against your own words.
I never said don't sign Lookman. I said Lookman is an option, like Mbeumo, like Mitoma. Bro, I'm not a scout.
Lookman is in Mbeumo level. There's the reason why you're smirking right now.
Hold on.
You just played
Lookman,
yourself.
okay, hold on. I actually think Lookman is actually in Mbeumo level. Yes, 100%. Yeah. What?
So you think Mbeumo level makes Arsenal better?
He's a good player. Of course.
See how he never answered the question? Yalla, khalas, you're in a corner now. You know you're not going to get out.
Yeah, Habibi, there is no winger available.
Right, here. I'm going to mute my mic.
Can you, yes, mute your mic now. And let me answer the question. Yes, Mbeumo improves Arsenal starting 11. I'm done. Hussam, unmute your mic. Khalas.
You think Mbeumo improves Arsenal starting 11? Mbeumo is a right winger / striker.
He can play left winger. He's a left-footed left winger. Can play
no. He cannot play left wing. Nope, he can't.
Okay, maybe I can say something. Mitoma improves the starting 11. I'm going to say this.
He's only a dribbler. Doesn't alleviate pressure off of Saka.
No, I disagree with you. I think Mitoma goes to Arsenal and gets 10-15 goals minimum in the season.
I don't think that.
I think Lookman, if he goes to Arsenal as well, improves the starting 11 on the left.
Arsenal fans, 100%. You see the standards I have.
Arsenal needs someone to start. Okay, Let me so to answer Husam's question for himself, I'm gonna ask him a simple question. Does Mitoma start for Arsenal tomorrow?
I don't necessarily think so. No.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah.
Does
I think Trossard is better
Lookman
than
start for Arsenal tomorrow? Oh, okay, that's your opinion then.
Trossard is better
We
than
disagree
both.
on that. We disagree on the ability of some players.
Yeah, that's
Go ahead.
fine. Trossard is better than both. You just need someone that actually alleviates the pressure off of Saka and can score 15 goals. Is a goal
I think
scorer.
Mitoma can get. I think
Because
Mitoma can
Havertz
get
is down the
15
middle, so
goals.
you need on the left someone who can get you 15 plus goals. That's it, and it cannot be a risk. I think if Mitoma goes to Arsenal, he'll score 15. That's not how it works. You need someone who's not a risk, someone who's a goal scorer. Sign Salah, you know. That's like that. Obviously not like that level, but of that
Being
like
unrealistic, and he's asking Arsenal to be unrealistic.
I'm saying of that effectiveness. Relax, yeah. I'm talking about goal scoring. That's it.
Do you think Anthony Gordon goes to Arsenal start right away?
Yes, that's a perfect example actually.
So
Last season he got 16 goals, 10 assists,
an
playing
80
for
million
Newcastle.
pound player. An 80 million pound player.
Last season he went at Newcastle, 16 goals, 10 assists. He goes to Arsenal, he scores a shitload of
10
goals for
goals,
them.
11 assists in the league. 10 goals, 11 assists in the league. Don't
Yeah,
inflate
that's
the
very good
numbers.
numbers playing for Newcastle.
Very good. I think Mitoma can do the same for them. I think Adomalo
Nah,
Lookman can do the same for them.
I wouldn't say that.
Anyway, keep going. Go ahead.
All right, Terry.
I was enjoying listening to that, to be honest with you. It was just quite nice to sit back and chill.
It's a disagreement on the ability of some players. Like we disagree.
Yeah. I think Matoma. He had a season last year where it was riddled with injuries, but I think Matoma's got the ability to get into work himself into the starting 11 of anybody in the top 6. I'm not saying he starts for anybody in the top 6 day one, but I think he has the ability to work himself into those teams. The only caveat is, how many low blocks is he coming up against now compared to them?
With De Zerbi, lots. That is the thing. With De Zerbi, with
you're just in love with De Zerbi. Let it go. He left. Khalas. Let it go. He's not there anymore. Let it go.
Go ahead, Terry. Sorry. Go ahead, Terry. There's breaking news.
Sam here says, hi guys. I don't know your opinion, but I have always said we Arsenal need a winger, but I would move Martinelli to the right wing as backup and sign a big left winger.
Nope, you'd have to move Martinelli on because Jesus is already the backup right winger. You can't play games.
No, Jesus is the backup striker.
Backup striker, backup right winger. Adi, no problem. But the point is,
by the way, people forget that they still have Reece James on the books.
Unless Reece Nelson, you mean.
Sorry, what's his name? Reece Nelson? Or...
Yeah. Unless you're saying keep Martinelli as backup striker. That's when you're cooking, but not backup right winger. Martinelli
Trossard as well. Trossard is more of a closer backup striker, Hassan.
Yeah. Big up, Sam.
Matt here says Gabriel Martinelli, Bukayo Saka have 29 goals in 2022-23 season. Nelly can score goals.
I think Matt is okay. Matt, you've been watching us. You've been doing shows with us a lot. This season, Manchester City is just freaking side Gundogan again, right? There is no room for error. There is no room. We're gonna end the window and see until January if Martinelli can bring back the form from 2 seasons ago. The closest sample is last season. He played 35 games, was crap. So that's the closer sample. There is no ifs, there is no room for error, my friend. That's what we keep saying, man. There's hopes. This is a hope. Oh, we're gonna get Martinelli back. That's not gonna work. You need assurances that I have a player that is coming in to play, elevate the pressure, as Sam said, of Saka's shoulder. Now, maybe he's gonna work in this game, maybe not.
Saka's shoulders, man. You cannot go into a season like this. You need help. Players need help. That's just the reality of the situation. Look at United, look at Chelsea, look at all the successful teams, Liverpool's successful team, City's successful team. Everyone helped each other out, bro. Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, Salah, Mane, Firmino. You know, Mahrez, whoever, and Sterling. Everyone score goals. Just chip in with goals, score, help each other out. The problem is currently for Arsenal, for me, is if Saka doesn't affect the game, of which he's allowed to have a bad game, if Saka doesn't affect the game, then it's like, oh shit.
But interesting breaking news, though, and this has come from another Italian source. This has come from Corriere dello Sport. Again, I can only go by the followers, like 740 odd thousand followers. They have just stated They have just stated that Arsenal are back on the trail of Victor Osimhen. And
yes,
I will
now
say
you
this.
see, now everything me and Mo said over the last 10 minutes of argument means fuck all. If Ornstein Osimhen, congratulations on winning the league title, it's all over. Khalas. See how you know how you can make your life so much easier. Just go for it. Osimhen, khalas, you're league champion.
The thing is about this, the Italian press collectively haven't dropped this story all summer. I've been cooked every time I've mentioned it, and I don't care because my job is just to put out what is being said, and then
report on the news.
I report on the news, and we have conversations and debates about it. But what I will say is that it's another top Italian outlet, and they're stating it's done. It says Napoli had started with the intention of demanding 130 million euros, but are now evaluating the idea of accepting offers of around 100 million euros. So what's that going to end up being? About 80 odd million pounds. And I think that's a fairer price. Wouldn't it be? I mean, again, it's in TalkSport, I've got one story and this Italian outlet has got another, but I do think there's a sting in the tail here. And I think with Gundogan returning, by the way, City are also looking at that Celtic striker. Is it Gyogo? If they end up bringing if they bring him in as well, plus Gundogan coming back, Arsenal have got to react. They have to. They can't not react. They can't do it, in my opinion. So it's going to be really interesting.
Never heard of that striker, by the way, but fine.
I saw him. He looked very good against Chelsea the other day.
Okay.
Hussam on this show said, we're finished this season, but don't say mad stuff, then get called out, then backtrack like you didn't say it. Go listen to your words.
Terry would tell you I've been on so many streams. I've not said this statement. I predicted Chelsea to come 6th, bro. That's not finished. I never said that, bro. So that's not the point, DJ. I'm simply talking about your owners.
In fairness, he did say his own team's finished as well. So, even if he did, he has said that Liverpool will finish next year. Trossard will be the 3rd striker. This could happen. Thank you, my bro. Rafinha or Kudos are better than a striker.
That's Rafinha.
Kudos, definitely. Depends on what striker, though. It depends on what striker that you go and bring in. Harold here says the human aspect matters, even though they make huge money. There are still emotions involved. Absolutely right. And I got that super chat earlier that said this is sport and you've got to be ruthless. Yes, but you can be ruthless. And it's how you handle things. It's how you handle things. Hassam, I'm so happy Liverpool isn't going for Victor Ugarte. If he signs for Liverpool, then they could win everything. Your thoughts? Also, love your rant on Zubimendi. Please, can we have round 2?
Round 2 of the rant will come on August 31st if we haven't signed a player yet. I think if you think the Zubimendi rant was bad, this one I'm actually going to be so pissed off. What?
The Times have just reported that Raheem Sterling is now being forced to train at home as he's been frozen out of Chelsea completely.
What? That's garbage.
It's from the I will say it's from the Times. I mean, the Times is maybe the most credible newspaper in the history of newspapers, but they're saying he's training at home because he's been completely frozen out. That's mad.
That's very disrespectful. That is disrespectful. You can freeze him out of the first team. You can actually not include him in the squad, but he deserves to be training. Like, to be honest.
That's too much, man.
This is garbage. Yeah, like you signed him, he should take them to court. To be honest, but as long as they pay him his wages. I think they are in the good. There's nothing they can do.
And by the way, there is nothing that they can force Sterling to do either. Sterling can just sit at home, not play a single minute of football, and earn 400 grand a week or whatever how much he earns. Why should he give a fuck?
Yeah,
he's in London. He's doing
350k. I would love 350k to stay at home, and he still have
100%. Would you guys take 350 grand a week to stay at home? I fucking would.
He still has 3 years left at his bro. He still has 3 years left.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Mo.
Sanchez saga.
So you're saying,
saga.
So let's just be honest about this, right? They cannot do fuck all to Raheem Sterling. There's 3 years left on his contract. If he does not play a single minute of his contract, he's still gonna get the money with his feet kicked up in Spain on a beach somewhere. So it's 100% not a problem. Let's go, man. Let's go.
This year says Terry United are paying what PSG want for Ugarte. You spent 3 weeks just to end up paying what they want. then that may happen. I'm happy with the player irrespective. We don't get the price down. We've still done the right thing. I stand by it. We were never going to fix everything, including our squad and negotiations. Look, we've had to sell players much cheaper than we think they're worth because you're talking about years of malpractice.
Harry, I have to tell you something about this. And I know you're aware of this because of the people you've spoken to. I think, so let's start first and foremost. I am jealous of this signing, I admit it. I think Ugarte will be your signing of the season and could be one of the signings of the season in the Prem because of his unbelievable tackling ability. Now, having said that, the reason why Ugarte is joining Manchester United, and people won't like to hear this, is the fact that football is a dirty sport. Because Lenny Yoro and Ugarte have the same agent, Jorge Mendes. And it's essentially a situation of, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I'm going to get you this guy, you get my client out of PSG. You know that that's the reality of football, Terry. So it's not like, I'm not, you know, I've never said Man United are not attractive. You know, I've never said any of this wild
I get that. But are you suggesting that, hang on. But are you suggesting that Man United don't really want him?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all.
That's what you said, literally.
No. I'm saying the reason why Ugarte is joining Manchester United is Jorge Mendes, the agent.
That means United don't want him, and he's only joining because of Jorge Mendes.
You done yourself there, Hassam. You finished, bro.
I'm not saying United don't want him, Terry or Mo. Your guys are missing my point.
Maybe we are. Can you elaborate?
Hear me out. This is a super agent flex. You get it? This is a super. Is Jorge Mendes a super agent? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes. But what?
Okay. So when the Euro stuff was happening with Real Madrid, do you think that Jorge Mendes was not heavily involved in the decision of Euro joining
of course he was.
The agent, yes.
But the point is, from Man United fans' perspective, do you think we wanted both of these players?
Yeah. Yes. Probably you wanted to.
Then, from my point of view, I couldn't give a shit. as long as we're not being forced to sign players, as long as it was okay. Oh, we really wanted X. But to get Euro, we had to take this guy instead. That, for me, I'll condemn it. That is the road to ruin because you're never going to build the right squad. But yeah, look, to Matt's point in the super chat, yeah, like it'd be lovely to get him at a price lower than 60
Fuck you
million.
Guys, man. Now Man United could finish.
I'm happy with the signing still. We moved. Do you guys rate just because we run out a little bit of time, boys? Sorry, do you guys rate Nkunku? Could he be the next Chelsea flop? I rate him. I put a lot of money into him on Stocks FC, my bro. So yeah, I rate Nkunku.
Enzo Fernandez could be the next flop. Nkunku could be the next flop. Sterling is training at home. All this shit, and then someone gets pissed off in the chat when we say Chelsea aren't as good as they think. Wow.
Mo is right. We need a new forward striker or winger. Saving our money for Sesko, Gordon, Neto, Madueke, Lookman will do it. Neto's gone, bruv. Matoma won't move the needle. Hang on, how can you have Madueke's name on there but not Matoma? Fucking hell!
Yeah, that is mad.
Jesus Christ! How can you have even Gordon, even Anthony Gordon's name on there? I wish Matoma was English because he'd have gone to the. Come on now.
Can't lie to you, Robert, that's a crazy list.
Martinelli was injured. Martinelli was injured last year, and sorry, I already done that. No, I didn't do that one. And in 2023, relax, brother. He ain't anywhere near his prime. 2023 wasn't a fluke, is what VIP Studio says. Arsenal fan here. United will finish top 4. Please don't foul me. Also, why did Chelsea want to sell Madueke and Sterling? Your best wingers, crazy. I'm not sure if they want to sell Madueke. I've heard a price has been set, but I don't think that's them trying to force it. Shawnee's bit back at you, Hassam, and said that 40 years old fella, I've seen it all, believe it or not. I'm FFG out. My problem is we win a game and you give Terry and the opposition supporters what they want.
Here's the thing I need you to understand. Look, there are multiple different types of people on the football terrace and on YouTube in general. I'm not reactionary. Maybe I have misunderstood you. I love the fact that you're FSG out. The thing that you need to understand is I'm not giving Terry ammunition or Mo ammunition. Our football club is giving them ammunition. Think about what I just said. We fucked up the Gordon thing. We fucked up the Zumendi thing. We have not signed a single contract, and we're the only club in the European top 5 leagues that haven't signed a player, Shawnee. So it's not me. Our football club is giving them ammunition. They don't need me to give them ammunition. It's happening by nature because we're incompetent. They probably thought at the start of the transfer window, maybe when they're just thinking about Liverpool randomly, they would have thought, okay, new manager slot, they're probably going to back him. They might spend like 80, 90 million at least, buy 2-3 players. Edwards is back. This is stuff that Terry has said himself. Terry has said 2 months ago, now that Edwards is back, they're going to sign 2 or 3 players. They're going to improve the squad. They're going to improve the team. This is not a rebuild. How many times has Terry said that? So he doesn't need me to give him ammunition. The club is incompetent and pathetic. It's not me, brother.
Yeah. KSE, FSG, the Glazers, play your club never gets owned by so-called soccer. Great show, Mo, Terry, and Hassam. By the way, there is talk that another American billionaire is about to take over at Everton. So as much as Everton fans may think this is going to be our savior, when you look at the general track record, I mean, FSG have probably been the most successful American-owned club so far. Arsenal could move into that realm, but they haven't done that well, have they, these billionaire American owners? The first few years, the first sort of 5, 6, 7 years of the Glazers did, but that's because they were piggybacking upon the Sir Alex Ferguson success, and he was still running the club. But yeah, overall, it hasn't gone too well. But there we go. People, we are live later this evening for the Done Deal show. So that'll be around about 8:45. So make sure you're all tuning in. Are you boys live later?
I have Aho, yes.
What time's that?
9.
Okay, well, we'll redirect and then man after that show. So we'll be live a little bit later on for you all today. Until next time, people. Oh, actually, we had a super chat just come through. It says, so Sam talking about Ugarte transfer is like me saying my grandmother couldn't attend my wedding as she isn't breathing. But I am not saying she is dead.
You had a howler there. In the first way you explained it,
it was.
But the second way, it made sense, though.
Either way, it's a good signing. Look, I want to thank each and every single person who has tuned into the show today. All of my super chatters, you are genuinely phenomenal. This video is going to refer you to my one that's coming later tonight. So go there, bookmark it, hit the like button on the news show. Get yourselves ready for later when we go live. It'll be good to see you all back as we'll be delving into some of these news stories that have broke late in this show as well. Plus, we'll be opening up the airways for you to come on and have your say as well. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.